Hey radio family, we've got a new way to win. Ace TJ Prime Rewards. Win great stuff like gift cards, Ace and TJ merch, concert tickets, and exclusive money can't buy experiences. Win it all with Ace TJ Prime Rewards. It's so easy. Download the Ace and TJ family app in your app store or at acetj.com/app and start winning with Ace TJ Prime Rewards. New winners every week. Fun and free. Get the app and play Ace TJ Prime Rewards. We always knew you were a winner. Now it's your chance to prove it. Get the app today.
Meet up with your friends.
Love it!
Ace and Friends.
Fun, funny, and fast. I am the modern day Mr. Rogers. I should mention that more. I don't mention that enough. Do you think, Rob, I should mention I'm the modern day Mr. Rogers a little bit more?
That's up to you.
Rob's not a huge fan of the fact that I am the modern day Mr. Rogers.
Oh, you're just going to proclaim it. Okay.
Well, what have I been doing?
Well, I mean, I thought you were just, you thought you were the modern day Mr. Rogers. You're confirming that you are, without a doubt.
The modern day Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
Well, won't you please be my neighbor? Come join along. We're all friends here. Let's make a little friendly world. I'm in hell because of my driver's license. The numbers of things that I cannot do now because my driver's license is expired, and I'm not going to get it done until next week. I was trying to pick up a prescription for my wife. Won't let me do it because my driver's license is expired. Like, what? Like, you see, it's me. I'm clearly old enough to pick up the prescription, but I guess they have to scan it or whatever.
Yeah, and it could be because you're like, they might think you're like a secret shopper thing. Like, if they let it go through, they could get in trouble. If you're like, with
I never even thought of that. I just assumed it was because they have to scan the thing and it automatically, I think the computer kicks it out if it's expired.
It might be that too, but it's one of those two things most likely.
I never thought about the secret shopper thing. But yeah, they wouldn't let me have that. And then how I discovered it was that I thought it was at the restaurant the other day, but it wasn't. It was my wife ordered a couple of things off Instacart, including a bottle of wine. And when the guy came to the door and I gave him my ID, he said, "Your ID's expired." And I said, "No, it's not." And he goes, I was in a bad mood when he got there. He goes, he said, "I'm sorry, your ID's expired." I said, "My ID is not expired." He goes, "Yeah, it is." I looked at it and went, "Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, it is expired." Damn it. So and I'm looking at him like, "Hey man, look, I get it. You've got to take a picture of that." And it probably kicks it out because I'm not old enough. But look at me. Do I not? You can easily tell I'm old enough to get a stupid bottle of wine. But I didn't. I had to go get my wife and have her get her ID and bring it back. It's like, all right, here we go. It just makes everything so difficult. And I don't think I got a heads up that said, "Hey, your license is about to expire."
Yeah, but it could be like maybe, well, because you've changed your address since you moved, obviously, so they would have the right address.
Yeah, if I've changed the address on my license.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a possibility that I just missed it in the mail, but I don't know. I doubt it. But it's making my life a living hell. So next week I'm going to the DMV. I'm spending one of my vacation days getting to the DMV about 30 to 45 minutes early so I can be one of the first people in line to try to get my driver's license renewed. Oh, praying I don't have to take any kind of a test because I'm sure I would fail that. It's been so long.
The DMV sucks.
Yeah, the DMV does suck, which means that's a day of vacation. No matter if I'm there for an hour, that whole day is shot at that point. That day of vacation sucks. It's my own fault, I guess. That's what I keep telling myself to make myself feel better. It's your own fault. Doesn't make me feel any better, but I keep telling myself that all the time.
Coming up on Ace and Friends.
I just want to go to a sweeper there, Rob. Here we go.
This is Ace and Friends.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months, 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Ace and Friends.
We learned a fun, exciting fact about our friend Tech D Rob earlier today. Rob has collected in his lifetime, over 37,000 points at Taco Bell. Is that what they're called, points?
Yeah, rewards points.
Rewards points. So for you get $10 for 10 points for every dollar?
I get 11 because once you have earned so like 2,000 points, then they give you an increase in your return.
Okay, so when did you start collecting these points?
I wish I had that information. Let me see when the Taco Bell.
So you don't know when you might have signed up for the app or whatever, because is it all done through the app, or was this pre-app stuff you were getting points?
It's with the app. That's when they started it.
Okay.
Looks like 2014 may have been whenever they launched the mobile app.
So that's in 10 years. The last 10 years, you've spent over $3,700 at Taco Bell.
So we're looking at $370 a year.
Yeah, roughly.
That's not as bad as I thought.
It's not as bad as it sounds. Not as bad as you think it sounds, I guess. But do you always keep track of it through the app? Is there a possibility you've paid cash for other times and everything?
No, I always use the app. If it ever isn't working, I end up just not going to Taco Bell.
I'm looking some stuff up now. I went to Reddit to try to find out how many people have 25,000, 50,000 Taco Bell points.
There's a Live Moss subreddit on there, and people on there have hundreds of thousands of points.
Yeah. Oh, really? Because there's people here like 15,000, 66,000. I think one guy put 66,000. I clearly have a problem. I've got 22,800. It says, I learned today that it tracks total points. I don't know if I should be proud or scared.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Another one's 68,000. So you're not as bad as I thought. There are people here with a lot more. Mm-hmm. But there are people here with a lot less.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping I'm at least below the mid.
But when you break it down the way you did, it's a lot of points. But if over the course of 10 years you've spent $372 a year at Taco Bell, it's not as bad as it seems.
And that's $30 a month. Once you break it down further, 31.
Okay.
So that's not crazy. That's like going to Taco Bell like 3 or 4 times. At least, most of the time.
Essentially once a week you've gone to Taco Bell.
That sounds about right. I do love the Taco Bell.
What do you go to most?
Taco Bell would be the only one that I think I hit at least once a week. Next up, I don't really go to another one very regularly other than Taco Bell.
But Taco Bell is your biggest one.
Mm-hmm,
and
sure.
you only get the points, you redeem the points for food. They don't have like merch or
you can't use it for merch. It's just for food.
Do they have merch?
They do every once in a while. They call it like a Taco Bell drop or something.
Would you wear some Taco Bell merch?
No, I'm good.
Really?
It's just not for me.
So you'll eat there every week, but you won't wear their merch.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that.
We came here to have a good time. This is Ace and Friends.
Our friend Richard Toccato of the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and you got a lot of pressure on you right now with the credit card debt. Let Richard help you. What are you going to do?
We're going to skip summer and make payments in the fall. How about that?
Nice.
And the best part about it is they're going to do that using the equity in your very own home. All you have to do is let Richard Toccato and the Richard Toccato Companies walk you through the process. It starts with one free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719, 704-800-4719, or online at homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
Ace and Friends.
You're about to witness a very big example, a very big difference between men and women when it comes to dating. This is a Reddit post from 2021 that is going viral again. You know how things just kind of circulate back for whatever reason. But here's the post. Quote, went on a date with a guy the other night at a pretty nice restaurant. I ordered water. He ordered Coke. Through the evening, he drank 3 full-size glasses of Coke. I ghosted him afterwards. I don't know. It's just gross. Like, grow up, end quote. So she ghosted her date over the fact that he drank Coke during the date. There is a survey that was done. It's just a few hundred people. Is drinking soda a turnoff when dating? Again, just a couple hundred people. They said 86% said no. I don't think it's a turnoff. I don't think any guy would care if the woman is drinking a soft drink during the entire meal.
No, I don't think so.
But I do get where a woman would care because they take it as a sign, if that's all he has, that he's not grown up. He's not a fully developed man if he's drinking Coke on a date. I would assume, and I can't speak for ladies, I would assume it's got to be water or tea or having an actual drink of some sort.
I would think tea's just as bad, though, like sweet tea. I think it might be worse, like if you're talking about health concerns.
I don't think it's the health concern. I think it's the childish nature of the beverage.
So, like, if they ordered a chocolate milk, you're good.
You're done. Chocolate milk, she'll probably get up and just walk away. And I think even a guy would find it weird. I was trying to think, if I went out with a woman and we sat down at dinner at a decent place, and she said, "I'll have this chocolate milk." I'm like, "That's okay. That's weird." I would not. I would think that's weird, more so than if she said, "I'll have a Sprite or a Coke or something like that."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing you can order that makes you sound sophisticated is water.
Water makes you sound sophisticated?
I just think
you're
making the smart choice.
You don't think if you're ordering, "I'll have the Pinot Noir"?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think ordering the wine makes you sound sophisticated?
I don't think so.
The wine makes you sound much more sophisticated than having water.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I would have to go with that 100%. Rob.
I think wine makes you trashy. No, I'm just kidding.
How does ordering? Well, it depends on what wine you order. If you're ordering that $6 blueberry wine that you drink, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But probably on their menu, you say, "I'll have the house Pinot Noir." That sounds classy.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
So wine is acceptable.
I don't like it, but
Is there a liquor that the first time you went out with Meredith 9 years ago that if she'd ordered you to stop and going, what are you doing?
It's hard for me to swallow the two that she's big into Jaeger.
Yeah.
And she's big into Jameson.
Yeah, if she said that to it, "I'll just have a water and a shot of Jaeger."
I'm like, what in the world is
Slow down, sister.
what is this?
We came here to have a good time. This is Ace and Friends.
Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and he's all about options. That's what you're always saying. I got options. What are the options?
The options are to get the equity out of your house at the most cost-effective way that's going to save you the most amount of money, paying off credit cards, home improvement, whatever you want to do.
And that's one of the reasons you would use the Richard Toccato Companies instead of a bank, because they give you so many options. And it all starts with one free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719, or online at homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
The Johnson Group has been cleaning some of Charlotte's most prestigious businesses since 1985. Family owned and operated. Learn more at acetj.com/clean. It's first class cleaning with the Johnson Group.
This is Ace and Friends.
I was alerted to something yesterday, that I don't think everybody knows. Rob, are you familiar with how buying liquor works in many places, but in the great state of Louisiana? It is very different than lots of other places. For example, North and South Carolina, and I don't know, it's different all over the place, but North and South Carolina, there are ABC stores that are run by the state, and you have to buy from those stores exclusively.
I think that's in South Carolina. You have to go to a specific store, but I don't think all of those
are run by the state.
Are run by the state.
Okay, but it is a specific store.
They're called red dot stores. They got 3 little red dots on them.
Okay, which was odd for me when we moved from Louisiana years ago. I've lived outside of Louisiana now since 1995. But it was wild because as a kid growing up, and when I first became of legal drinking age in Louisiana in college and everything, there are virtually no rules. It's everywhere.
Yeah, can't you go through a drive-through and get them?
You can.
Yeah,
you can go through the drive-through. You can buy a drink at a drive-through, and again, they give you the straw, or they tape the straw to the container. Therefore, it's not an open container. You are the one that opens the container when you insert the straw. So you're not supposed to insert the straw and open the container until you are not driving, not behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But you can buy liquor imagine going into a Walgreens or a CVS, a drugstore, and behind them is just liquor. And there used to be, Eckerd Drugs when I was a kid. They had their own, like, Eckerd Drugs vodka, Eckerd Drugs rum, Eckerd Drugs bourbon, that kind of stuff. Super cheap.
Yeah. In Michigan, I think you can get it at a grocery store. Savannah, Georgia, we were able to get it at a grocery store.
You can buy it everywhere. You can buy it at a grocery store. You can buy it at a convenience store. And then there are liquor stores, which tend to have just more stuff, more of the high end stuff.
Yeah, in Michigan they call those party stores.
It's okay. The first time my now wife Amanda came to Louisiana, I met her in New Orleans for New Year's Eve, and it was a couple of days before New Year's Eve, but it was the holidays, and I got to the airport early, and I am sitting in the baggage claim area waiting for her to come down the escalator. And I am sitting at a bar, not a bar that they had set up that was a permanent bar that's just outside of the baggage claim area. In baggage claim, they had set up 2 temporary bars that were packed with people just to sell drinks for the holidays. Unreal.
It's crazy.
And that was the first place that she ever, in her life, that she had ever been, where they told you, you want to take this with you? She said, well, I can walk out of here with my drink? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. You can leave a restaurant with a drink or a bar with a drink. You just can't take it into the next place. You got to kill it on the street.
For safety.
You may understand some of the educational problems the state of Louisiana has.
Coming up on Ace.
Wrong button. Here we go.
This is Ace and Friends.
So we've been talking with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies, and he reminded us that Ace, both of us did what he's always telling people not to do, which is just go with the finance people that the real estate agent tells you to.
Hey, use this guy. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. And in the process, you end up missing out on options that could save you a lot of money. Short term, long term, there are a lot of options out there, and that's his specialty. It all starts with one free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719 or homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
Currents is Lake Norman's #1 lifestyle magazine. Every month, Currents brings you the latest news on what's happening in the Lake Norman area. They've been serving the Lake Norman community for over 13 years. See the latest issue of Currents now at lncurrents.com.
Meet up with your friends.
Love it!
Ace and Friends.
Rob, you are technically a millennial, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm Gen X. Rob is a millennial. I saw a list of firsts. What was your first concert?
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Oh.
When I was in the 4th grade.
Okay, went with one of your older siblings?
I went with both of my older siblings and one other person who I can't remember who it was. But
Okay. How old would they have been at the time?
Let's see. My brother should have been 18 and
Yeah.
my sister would have been 22.
So Tim McGraw, Faith Hill was your first concert. Mine was Elvis.
That's a damn good first
I
one.
was in the 3rd grade, 1977, like 5 months before he died. Maybe not that long, maybe 4 months before he died.
It was Fat Elvis then.
It was Fat Elvis.
Okay.
It was Fat Elvis, but the building was fat and bursting at the seams because they couldn't have squeezed another human being in the Rapides Parish Coliseum. First R-rated movie.
I don't know, honestly. It's probably something scary because my sister likes scary movies.
My first R-rated movie that I saw in the theater was Purple Rain.
Oh, it probably was Child's Play because it terrorized me as a child.
Really? So how old do you have to be to get to an R-rated movie?
You have to be
16?
17 or accompanied by an adult now it's accompanied by an adult that's 25. Before it was just as long as someone who could get in on.
Yeah, the first R-rated movie I went to see Purple Rain, and we just took my friend. One of my buddies was old enough, and he bought all the tickets. Nobody said anything. Yeah, it was the 80s. They were cool with it. First album you ever purchased with your own money?
Probably, I'm thinking Korn with the one with Freak on a Leash.
Hell yeah!
I don't remember the name of it, but I can see the cover of the album is a little girl playing hopscotch on a cliff's edge. Let me see. I'm gonna figure out
Korn was the first album that you ever purchased.
Hell yeah, it was. It was called Follow the Leader.
Follow the Leader by Korn.
Yeah, it's got a little girl doing hopscotch.
And you were how old?
Let's see, that came out in '98. So before then, I just probably didn't. I was 13 at the time.
Okay.
So probably got some money cutting grass.
Yeah. First album I ever purchased was Kiss Alive 2. I was 10 years old. I bought 2 albums same day, Kiss Alive 2 and an Elvis Presley's Greatest Hits. It was the first full albums that I'd ever purchased with my own money. So clearly I had kind of an Elvis thing. And odd that my nephew he's just turned 15 and he's an Elvis tribute artist.
It's in your daggone blood.
Yeah, my dad must have had some influence over us at some point. My dad, very famous amongst his friends for having a little bit too much to drink. Not that he was always having too much to drink, but they went to see an Elvis impersonator one night. Came out in this hotel bar where they were. And the guy yelled, "I am the king." And my dad said, "The hell you are," and wanted to fight him.
There's only one king.
Right, that's exactly what he told him. You are not the damn king. And then finally, the guy had to kind of stop the show and go, "Hey, sir, it's okay. It's just an act." And my dad let him know it wasn't an act. And then they let my dad know he could go ahead and leave. It's just, sir, it's time for you to go. Please don't harass the Elvis impersonator.
This is Ace and Friends.
Well, here we are, another new year, and you're again going to try to lose that weight you've been needing to lose for a long time. Well, here's what you need. You need Calitrin to help, because Calitrin is not a drug. No, not at all. It is natural and effective. It's scientifically proven to help you lose weight and get better sleep. When you buy 3 months supply of Calitrin, you will get 3 months free right now, and consistency is the key with Calitrin. So order it today at acetj.com/weight loss. It's Calitrin.
Create an unforgettable experience with the Cabarrus Arena. Learn more at cabarrusarena.com. Weddings, banquets, shows, expos, they do it all at the Cabarrus Arena. Learn more at cabarrusarena.com.
Ace and Friends.
Our own Tech D Rob does not deal with humans well outside of this room. You prefer not to deal with humans, right, Rob?
I don't think it's that I would be not good with interacting with them. I choose not to when I can avoid it.
For example, when was the last time you ordered food from a human?
It would have to have been the last time I went to a sit-down restaurant, which was last week with Meredith. I just can't remember where.
Okay, so you and Meredith went to a sit-down restaurant last week.
Yeah.
So once in the last week, you've ordered, and you do you still have fast food every day?
No, so not every day. Just at least like 5 times a week, probably.
Okay, which is more than most, I think. So you ordered at a sit-down meal.
Yeah.
And not a problem with it.
No.
It's okay. A place you go to regularly?
I can't remember where we went, but probably. I mean, we have a few places that we cycle through.
Right. Does it bother you at all in that scenario to order?
No. That's probably, I was about to say, outside of at a sit-down restaurant, I think the last time I had to order from someone would be, I don't know, years. I can't think of the last time. Like, I'll go into a place and like ring up somewhere, but like ordering something from somewhere, I don't. You know, it's a little strange to talk about. To quantify it, you know. I prefer not to have to talk to someone, so I will prefer to order ahead of time. Like,
right.
Like,
so you always, with the exception of going into a sit-down restaurant, you always take care of it through an app, so it's ordered in advance, so you have to speak to no one.
Yeah, and I not necessarily have to speak to no one, but to minimize the amount of people I do have to talk to.
Right.
Like the place that I just remember, the place we did go to eat is a place that I get takeout from all the time, and they have a little window you have to walk up to and tell them your name, and they'll give you a bag, and that's it. And
So even then, it's just, here's my name, give me my bag of food.
Yeah, that's it. And at Taco Bell, when I make my order, I just go, I have a mobile order for Rob. Then I pull up, and they don't come and don't have to interact with me until the food's coming out.
They just hand it to you. There's minimal interaction.
Yeah, I sit at the window. They don't greet me or anything, which is fine by me.
So, okay, so how often, let's say you had a problem with a bill and you needed to call somebody and talk to them. Would you do that at home, or would Meredith do that?
I don't know. Meredith probably. I would if I had to, but I prefer that she did it.
Yeah, but only if you absolutely had to. Do you make your own appointments for things?
Yes, but I do them online. 100% online.
100% online. You never call and say, hey, I need to get an appointment for this for Thursday or something.
If I had to, I would, but
you have not had
it's
to.
been a long time since I've had to.
That's a fascinating way to live, Rob.
I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure you do.
We came here to have a good time. This is Ace and Friends.
Our friend Richard Toccato of the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and you know you got a lot of pressure on you right now with the credit card debt. Let Richard help you. What are you going to do?
We're going to skip summer and make payments in the fall. How about that?
Nice.
And the best part about it is they're going to do that using the equity in your very own home. All you have to do is let Richard Toccato and the Richard Toccato Companies walk you through the process. It starts with one free 5-minute phone call. 704-800-4719. 704-800-4719 or online at homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
It's been a debate here for years.
Does great furniture look good?
Or does it feel good?
Does it fit the style of the room good?
Or does it sit good?
Well, after years of debate
And years of research.
we've decided great furniture
Is good fitting?
and good sitting.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and get an Adirondack chair for just $279. In stock and ready to rock only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Meet up with your friends.
Love it!
Ace and Friends.
Food is a very important part of our lives here on Ace and Friends. More so than just, sustenance. It's just something we love. We crave. We talk about it all the time. The other night, my wife and I got this bag of sriracha chips. They were spicy, they were hot, and they were delicious. And between the two of us, mainly me, but probably 60-40, we actually stopped at the very bottom of the bag because we didn't want to say that we ate the entire bag of chips. It's like, I'm not going to eat the entire bag of chips. And I've told everybody before, there was one time on one of our charity trips that I had a little bag of those donuts, and I think it's 16 of them that are in the bag, the chocolate covered ones. And I freaked out because I was laying on the bed and I stuck my hand in the bag and I realized, oh my God, I've eaten this entire bag. But there are people on our social media sharing just food issues that have come up, like something you've eaten in one sitting. Like one lady said she ate an entire Sara Lee cheesecake by herself with no one around. And someone else said, I have done that and it's amazing. Stephanie said eating 2 entire bags of Reese's mini cups, those are the tiny peanut butter cups, with a bottle of wine while binging Netflix. Rob, do you have any idea how many Reese's mini peanut butter cups there are in a bag?
I don't know. It's a lot.
She had 2 bags of those and an entire bottle of wine while binging Netflix. Aaron said it's an entire, they call it a turtle. It's an Edwards chocolate. It's called the turtle chocolate cream pie. She ate the entire thing. It's like eating an entire pie all by yourself while sitting there.
I just looked up the minis, and the package that comes in says 7 servings per container, and each serving is 9 pieces. So that's like 60.
So it's 9 times 7.
Yeah, 63.
Which would be 63.
Right. Which is a lot.
But she had 2 bags. So say that's 126 Reese's mini peanut butter cups and a bottle of wine at one time. Wow. Adam said he had a roommate in college who would eat an entire box of Little Debbie cakes for dinner. A whole box. That's like 12 of those Little Debbie cakes. A guy at work ate a full-size apple pie on his lunch break one day. You got to be miserable the rest of the day after eating a full-size apple pie at lunch. I once ate an entire bag of oranges, Jen said. An entire bag of orange. I'm sorry. I ate an entire bag of cutie oranges. Then I threw up.
Well.
Yeah, and Nina said, I will make myself a box of mac and cheese, the old school blue box with powder cheese, and just crush it for dinner when I'm home. Yes, I know that I'm a child trapped in a 4-year-old woman's body. And the very next comment is from Lady named Barbara that says, I've done that many times.
Goodness gracious.
I think it's easy to eat something like mac and cheese because you don't realize how much you can eat at one time because you just spoon in, just keep eating. You don't have to worry about balancing it on the tray or on the plate or on the spoon or anything like that.
Yeah. It's not hard to eat a whole blue box, I'll tell you that.
And then Jennifer said after a football game, I once ate a dozen Krispy Kremes before heading out.
Oh, God.
The party. That is is amazing.
I think that's like a challenge that the comedian Nate Bargatze did on his podcast.
Oh, really? A dozen Krispy Kremes?
And he couldn't finish a dozen. I'll tell you that much.
This is Ace and Friends.
So we've been talking with our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies, and he reminded us that Ace, both of us did what he's always telling people not to do, which is just go with the finance people that the real estate agent tells you to.
Hey, use this guy. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process, you end up missing out on options that could save you a lot of money. Short term, long term, there are a lot of options out there, and that's his specialty. It all starts with one free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719 or homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
Meal delivery services are a big thing right now, but Table and Twine is your local meal delivery service. The meals are fresh, not frozen like national chains. Plus, their meals start at just $7.99 a serving. Take back that time in your day, leave the shopping, preparation, and cooking to Table and Twine. Get details at tableandtwine.com. That's tableandtwine.com.
Ace and Friends.
I was an adult when email became a thing in the 90s. But Rob, you were not.
Correct.
Were you one of those people who had an email address that you look back on now and think, "Oh my God, what was I doing?" Or was that your first account name for one of your like your Xbox account or PlayStation or whatever? Was it kind of a name that you're like, "Oh man, that's something a kid did"?
No, not really, because like I still have my old MSN email.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just my last name and some numbers.
Is that still an email?
Yeah.
I mean, it still functions?
You just got to go to Outlook, which is outlook.com. And let's log in that way.
Do you still get stuff that comes into it?
Oh yeah, that's my main email address.
I could not tell you. My first email address was an AOL address, so I would have no clue what my email address was.
I had an AOL address once AIM became a thing, the instant messenger.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason I used it. And I had a Yahoo web email as well for a little while.
Yeah. For some reason, I think I had a Yahoo email one time for something, but it had that was, I used to use that that was the Yahoo name. I would use it to sign up for stuff because I didn't want it to fill in my regular email address.
Yeah.
So keep all that spam and stuff out of your email account. So you never had a weird one like that?
No, the only thing I can think of that was weird was like one of my usernames on AIM, and it was just Miller, which is my last name, and then my whole phone number from my first cell phone.
You really put your entire phone number up there.
It was it didn't really negatively affect me, but it definitely could have. So it was a bad idea to do that.
That's wild. Did your mom or your dad keep up much with what you were doing online when you first got online?
No. They didn't know how to operate it.
Yeah. They just assumed you weren't looking at bad stuff?
Well, they did until one of my friend's mothers found it on their computer, and then we both got in trouble.
So what? You were at somebody else's house?
I was at my best friend's house,
and y'all were looking up dirty stuff.
And then his stepmom apparently knew how to check the history of the web browser, which I didn't know was a thing at the time.
Right, that's when you learned how to check the history on the web browser.
She said, like, because my mom was like, "What were you and Drew looking at online?" I went, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah, what I did? What?
So from then on, I didn't get caught again.
Did you? Yeah, I did. I didn't stop, but I didn't get caught again.
No, you ain't catching me.
Yeah, I learned how history works. I'm going incognito for the rest of the day.
This is Ace and Friends.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin. If you want all of the heating, air, and electrical work in your house done by the very best, then you need Bradham Brothers. They've been a family business thriving for over 50 years, and that means they're doing something right. Go to Bradham Brothers.
Ace and Friends.
If you missed it a few minutes ago, Tandy Rob was telling us about how he first got busted for looking at inappropriate material online. How old were you?
Early teens, probably.
Okay.
I don't know 100% for sure, but
So my first encounter with that as a parent, I don't know, I probably shouldn't tell this story, but just nobody tell my son that I'm telling you this. He's now 21. He'll be 22 his next birthday in September. And I came in one day and my now ex-wife said, "Hey, what have you been doing on the iPad?" I said, what are you talking about? I haven't done anything on the iPad. She goes, "Well, there's some, adult material on the iPad." I said, I didn't do that on the iPad. I didn't look at that. I said, "All right, let me investigate." So I go upstairs, and my daughter was in middle school at the time. And I said, "Hey, have you been on the iPad?" And she goes, "No." "Why?" I said, "You sure?" She goes, "No." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "What'd Cade look up?" I said, "What?" She goes, "What'd Cade look up?" I said, "I don't know, what do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about." She goes, "Dad, there must be something on the iPad that should be on the iPad, and that's why you asked me if I've been on it. And if I haven't, it must be something that Cade looked up." I was like, "Let me get back. I'll get back to you later. Just leave you alone." She goes, "Oh, Cade looked up something good." So I go in his room. He was in the 4th grade. What are you, 10 in the 4th grade? He was 10, so 4th or 5th grade. And I go in his room, and I'm holding the iPad in my hand as I walk in. And I said, "Hey, man, let me ask you something." And he looks up at me, and he sees I'm holding the iPad. And immediately, he just drops his head down to the floor. I was like, okay, we found the culprit. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing, man? It's not something we should be doing." And he said, and I'll never forget this story as long as I live. He said, "Dad," he goes, "I know, but sometimes I hear a bad man's voice in my head, and it says, 'Look at boobs.' Look at boobs." And he was as sincere as he could possibly be. Now I'm having to hold the iPad up in front of my mouth now because I'm laughing. And I said, "Well, we have to be strong enough to not listen to that voice." In my mind, I'm thinking, brother, that voice is not ever going away. And sure enough, I went back and looked through the search, and he just Googled boobs. It was all right there.
I get it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that was the last time he did that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
To this very day, that was the last time that he looked anything up.
It's been wholesome ever since.
I've never forgotten that though. His dad says, I know it's a bad man's voice, but he says, "Look at boobs. Look at boobs." I was like, "Yep, you're right, buddy. I know that voice well."
Follow Ace and Friends on all social media platforms at Ace Cannon Media. More Ace and Friends coming up.
Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and he's all about options. That's what you're always saying. I got options. I got options. What are the options?
The options are to get the equity out of your house at the most cost-effective way that's going to save you the most amount of money, paying off credit cards, home improvement, whatever you want to do.
And that's one of the reasons you would use the Richard Toccato Companies instead of a bank, because they give you so many options. And it all starts with one free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719, or online at homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
Hey, radio family, we've got a new way to win. Ace TJ Prime Rewards. Win great stuff like gift cards, Ace and TJ merch, concert tickets, and exclusive money can't buy experiences. Win it all with Ace TJ Prime Rewards. It's so easy. Download the Ace and TJ family app in your app store or at acetj.com/app and start winning with Ace TJ Prime Rewards. New winners every week. Fun and free. Get the app and play Ace TJ Prime Rewards. We always knew you were a winner. Now it's your chance to prove it. Get the app today.